Hey everyone! Today I am playing a deck that I didn't invent and was kind of a blip because it top-aided a tournament in Japan a while ago, and people haven't been talking about it for a few reasons. One is that, honestly, this deck wasn't that good. It had a lot of problems and could be beaten by control pretty easily, but I thought it might be worth taking a look at again for a couple reasons. Primarily, Dusk, Legion, Zealot, and Goblin Instigator are actually really good against some of the white weenie strategies that people are playing. Things like Adanto Vanguard can technically attack through these, but there's a limit to how many times they can pay for life. And then between those token makers and Rite of Belzenlok, it's actually really easy for this deck to get the City's Blessing. And so then out of the sideboard, you can cast Golden Demise and just wipe out the white weenie opponent without hurting your own strengths. So, if it's not clear, this is basically a black-red Sylph sacrifice deck. We pump out a lot of bodies that don't really cost us cards between Dusk, Legion, Zealot, Goblin Instigator, and Rite of Belzenlok. And then those creatures can either be sacrificed to something like Plaguecrafter, or, more importantly, what this deck is named after, Torgaar, Famine, Incarnate. This card is really weird. Basically, if you have two creatures to sacrifice to it, to where you're only paying 4 mana, it's great. And if you have to pay more than that, it sucks. So, ideally, we would want to play some okay creatures early, and then cast a Rite of Belzenlok, and then immediately sack a couple of the clerics to a Torgaar. Besides that, we have some generically good black and red cards, like Rekindling Phoenix, Lightning Strike, and Doom Whisperer. One of the main problems with this deck is the mana is bad. This is what happens when you play something for a guild that isn't in Standard at the moment. So instead of Blood Crypt, we have to play Cinder Barrens, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I played this deck before and thought it was not very good, but it might be worth poking around at and seeing if we can make it good against the new meta. For the sideboard, we have Duress, an Arguel's Bloodfast, and Angrath the Flame Chained as anti-control cards. These can hopefully help us go long. Then we have anti-aggro cards like Moment of Craving. This used to be a 4 of, but red decks are less popular now. Golden Demise, which used to be a 1 of, but white decks are more popular now, so I feel pretty confident about moving those around. And then just some more removal against big scary threats, such as opponents' Doom Whisperers. We have Vraska's Contempt and the Eldest Reborn. That's all I got to say about that. Let's go ahead and hop into a match. Alright, getting into it. There are a lot of reasons that I'm excited about the next set. Let's see, yeah, this hand's good. There are a lot of reasons I'm excited about the next set. Just new sets are always fun, they make things new and interesting. But mostly, I can't wait for the mana to work for all sorts of color combinations. Right now, you're really limited in which color pairs you can play in Standard, because... Okay. This is not exactly what we wanted to see here, but that's fine. But yeah, so like, you can't really play black-red, you can't play vampires because they're black-white, you can't really play merfolk because they're blue-green. Just half of the color combos don't work, and that's unfortunate. I can't wait until we can try basically anything. Like, maybe it'll turn out that this deck is doing powerful things, but the mana's too bad, and almost as important as the mana, we don't have access to any of the powerful gold cards that the other guilds do. Black-green gets to play the new Vraska and Golgari Findbroker and Assassin's Trophy. And we just don't, because we don't have Rakdos cards yet. Okay, Cinder Barrens, that's fine. We have another 2-drop that we can play next turn. I'm going to play Goblin Instigator, because this will make it difficult for the opponent to attack. They have shown us a treasure map. That means that something slightly different than usual is happening over here. It could be like the big red deck that people play, where there are a bunch of red treasure-making effects, and then they try to cast big scary cards instead of just all 1s and 2-drops. Seems kind of weird alongside Gitu Lava Runner, though. I think Treasure Map is probably one of the most underestimated cards in Standard right now. Some people are playing it, but it is so generically powerful. Like, it takes a big mana investment, but 3 scries, an extra land, and drawing 3 cards is ridiculous value to get out of 1 card. And even though you have to spend all that mana to get it going, you get to spend it over a long period of time. So if you only have 2 drops to play but 3 mana available, you get to sneak in a treasure map activation. And okay, main phase activating the treasure map. I was a little worried about a Goblin Chain Whirler there, but our deck is not good at playing around that. So they kept on top. Do I continue to play into a Goblin Chain Whirler? I kind of think I have to. This will really suck if they have it, but I don't know. Our deck is not really built to play around that. Hopefully we get to untap with this Torgaar. Rekindling Phoenix, sure. So let us see. We cannot, unfortunately, Dusk Legion Zealot into Torgaar unless we got really lucky and drew an untapped black source. So, what shall we do here? I think I will just keep as many bodies around as possible and only sacrifice 2 creatures. Go ahead and sacrifice... I don't think it matters, but... Go ahead and target my opponent, and no attackers. No, since we have this Thud in hand, things are really dangerous for them. If we draw a Lightning Strike, they're just dead. The game is over. Okay. They have a bunch of cheap creatures. This treasure map is really weird in the deck that they have created. Okay, not attacking with the Rekindling Phoenix. What is the best play here? I think I'm going to start by playing a Dusk Legion Zealot. I really want to dig my way into something like a Lightning Strike. If we draw one, we could just win the game right now, which would be awesome. Opponent holding priority, even though they don't really have anything to do. I guess they could Fanatical Firebrand my Goblin, but there's no reason to do that right now. I wonder if this deck should be playing more Lightning Strike type effects, like at the very least the full 4 Lightning Strikes. If only because I think this play pattern is going to be really common. Torgaar to put them to 10, Thud for 7 more. Wish we could Rekindling Phoenix here, but we just can't. Don't have the mana. Go ahead and play a Midnight Reaper. Now they might want to Fanatical Firebrand one of my cards, but... what I will probably do, unless we draw something good... attacking doesn't do anything, they just block with Phoenix and get it back. I will start attacking with Torgaar and have a Phoenix threatening to block their creature. Okay. Huh. So they're just like a big red deck, I guess? Yep, take 4. Well then. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to change of plans. I'm going to attack with these 2. Okay, starting to chew through their board. We could just die here. We're taking several damage. Yeah. We could also just kill them if we draw a Lightning Strike, so... we did not. Unfortunate. Alright, let's play the big ridiculous monster. Now, unless they just kill us here, we are almost certainly going to win the game. Even through a Rekindling Phoenix, this attacks for 6 damage. Okay, Runaway Steamkin. Unless there's a land here, they're out of stuff to do for the turn, and we should have won the game. My turn. Cool. Oh, well, we also drew that. Whatever. Don't have to show off. We can just do it with what we have. Huh. I didn't completely expect them to do that. We do have to show the Thud here. because Lightning Strike does not deal enough damage. But yeah, okay, we got there against Mono Red. I am immediately punished for how I changed the sideboard. Let's see, we know that they are a bigger deck, so Vraska's Contempt definitely comes in for those Phoenixes. Moment of Craving is obviously excellent. Do we want some Duresses? Question is, what are we cutting? I think we cut Midnight Reapers because they are quite bad. Probably cutting some Plaguecrafters because they also don't really do anything. Yeah, let's cut all the Plaguecrafters and just bring in a couple Duresses, hoping to hit like an Experimental Frenzy. I think I like the look of this. It's possible we're supposed to bring in Golden Demise, but we've got a lot of spot removal now, and we also just clot up the board with our own creatures, so I think this is going to be okay. On the draw again, but that didn't hurt us last time. And we don't have any more cards that hurt ourselves. Well, that's not really true, but... This has an okay card and a removal spell, but 5 lands is so many, and it doesn't do anything else. I think this is close, but I think I'm supposed to mulligan. I really hate mulliganing and try to avoid it whenever I can, but I don't think this does quite enough. Opponent is probably going to play a bunch of small creatures, like, it's unlikely it'll just be a G2 Lava Runner, it will probably also be a Viashino Pyromancer or whatever, and so Lightning Strike isn't enough to save us. And Rite of Belzenlok is fine, but if we run out of creatures, it's terrible, and they could easily just Chain Whirler away the Clerics, and then we're screwed. Taking their time for a minute, I guess I will cut and be right back when the game is ready to start. Okay, opponent decided they didn't want to play. They conceded as soon as the game started. Usually I only play... that game wasn't long enough. I will go ahead and call it there. So we got to see what the deck did, but that was also like one of the best draws I've ever had with it, with the Torgaar and having the Thud ready, so... I think this deck would require significant reworking to be really good, but maybe there is something there. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more stuff like it, I would love it if you could subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you see everything we post and helps other people to find the content. That's all for today. Thank you and goodbye.